Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a bonus full moon for the month of May tarot oracle reading. And Libra, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Libra, we all have a little bit of Libra in us somewhere. If you do have your birth chart, which house is the, Libra in? That will give you further clarity as to your situation now. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it's the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life then? That will give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, so we're going to begin with the underlying energy at the bottom of the deck. And we have the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups is representing something that you're wishing for. Cups in the tarot represent love, romantic love, generally, but it can be all sorts of love, love for anyone or anything. It can also be love of something you love to do or be. And so this figure is sitting on a stage, so this could imply that you are a public figure in some way or have a public platform. Or the energy, this is the overall energy for the reading, so it could be about someone else in the reading as a public figure. And this is talking about, there's only 10 cups in the tarot, and this is saying that you almost have the 9 cups that you've been wishing for. And so this can represent the past, the present, or the future. So if it's in the past, they're behind him on a shelf. If it's the present, they're above his head. And if it's the future, they're slightly ahead of him here. And so just depending on your situation, interestingly, the body language of this person sitting on the stage, his feet being turned out like this, represents leaking energy and body language. And so it's talking about him not 100% being focused on getting the job done. He does have his arms in an infinity symbol here. And he's a little bit on the chubby side, and this represents in tarot that someone has been successful, and because in the days when this tarot was first, the images were made, the energy was like if you were heavier, that you had enough money for food in those days. So that's what this represents, success. And so it's talking about, he almost looks like a genie. His arms are in a symbol of an infinity symbol, so he definitely has the potential to have the 9 of Cups and even the 10th one. But this is saying you have to apply yourself and not lose focus. Don't let people distract you from your goal. And this is talking about the 10 of Pentacles. So this is like the best of both worlds. This is all the love you can have. And then this is about lifestyle. So the Pentacles represent health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimension. And of course, money is a big part of that. So the Pentacles are represented by coin. But you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want. And so this is representing lifestyle. We have 2 people here, and they are, they care about each other, and they're sharing the experience. They've got a home where they want it to be. They have pets, they have children, they have time to stop and chat with the neighbors. So it's that kind of energy of having the lifestyle. And this is the ultimate lifestyle in a perfectly imperfect world. Then we have Judgment is the first card here. And so this card is representing judgment coming from the spiritual realm down to the physical. And we have the ancestors are cheering. They're literally coming out of their boxes, the ones that have crossed the veil, and cheering because judgment is being called on a situation. And the descendants are across the veil there, waving to them. So this energy is just basically talking about there could be some unfinished business from your relatives, from your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, etc. And they're cheering because finally judgment is being called on a situation that they weren't able to clear up while they were still on this side of the veil. And the energy also can represent skeletons coming out of, sorry, my cat, she likes to sit on my lap and enjoy the reading. She just loves the energy of the reading. So her job is to purr and she's doing a good job right now, but she's got happy feet, so she's circling. She'll lay down here in a second. She takes her job very seriously. A cat's purr actually has a healing vibration that can lower blood pressure. And I figure these days we could all use the help we can get. So yeah, so this is talking about you know, justice coming in, not just for you, but also for your bloodline. And this is talking about cleaning up unfinished business so that the bloodline gets clear on the spiritual level as well as on the physical. So there could be skeletons coming out of the closet, or Pandora's box has been opened. And once Pandora's box is opened, the ancestors are not going to rest until the judgment is called and they have received justice. Now we have the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords is talking about some form of communication coming in, and this is talking about, the swords represent the element of air, and they represent your mental intelligence, your ability to use your mind and to discipline your mind so that you're not fighting with it. And this is talking about the pages would work for the kings and queens, you know, in the court. In the old days, they would start very young, 7 to 14 years of age, depending on how mature they were. In those days, you have to remember that people had about half the lifespan that we do now. And so they would start working very young, but they would be running errands and messages within the court. And then when they got older, if they were well suited and they were doing really well, they would end up, they could be put up for knighthood as long as they could afford a horse. And so this energy is talking about some form of communication coming in. The communication in the old days was in person, and it was always a male, but these days this could easily represent a female in her masculine energy. And it's not necessarily someone that's young, but it's someone that is in this energy of youthfulness. And this card actually represents having like a, you know, an aha moment. It's a breath of fresh air, basically. So this, out of all the pages, this character here is not looking at his element. He already knows what the question is. He has used his logical mind to process that. What he wants now is a creative solution to whatever that question is. And so he's looking away from the question, and he wants to think outside the box. So these swords are double-edged, saying that you need to use your logic as well as your intuition, and that's what he's doing to find a creative solution to the problem. And so this energy, the page is representing communication coming in, and of course in the old days it was always in person because that was the only way they had. But now we have the, you know, it could be a phone call, text message. You could possibly get something in the mail, an email. Maybe you're on social media, someone messages you. You could also be invited to an event there and you attend, and then you run into the perfect person with the perfect information for whatever it is you need to know. And this energy, it's also saying it's a good idea to take a look at what's going on at the top of the pyramid, like in the world. What are the world leaders doing? What's happening? What are the trends? Because whatever's happening at the top of the pyramid is definitely going to trickle down and affect each and every one of us in different ways, to varying degrees. So it could be valuable information as to how you could use that information to strengthen your life and your lifestyle. And then, so this is talking about how you identify. So there's some sort of judgment that you feel needs to be made. And this is talking about maybe perhaps you're waiting for information or to affect your abundance, because you know this 10 of Pentacles is due to come in, and also all this love. And so you're waiting to hear some information. And this can also represent someone who you might have had an aha moment and have a really good idea, and you're maybe waiting for financing to be able to put this into this project or what business, whatever this is, into being. The Two of Pentacles represents an energy of multitasking. So this is talking about, multitasking is a very good skill to have, to be able to get more done. But this is saying be careful how much you multitask. You don't want to be busy just to be busy. And when we're busy, it tends to gain momentum, which is what these waves are saying in the background. They start off small with a small ship, and at the end they're big, and this person is still busy. So sometimes we can get in the habit of being busy, if that makes sense. And so this is talking about having to juggle, and quite often this is lifestyle. So it could be, your work life and your home life, or perhaps you have 2 jobs to make ends meet, and you're juggling those schedules. And this also could represent maybe someone who's going to school and going and working to pay for going to school. So it's that kind of energy. This card says the main thing is, the advice is, juggle your options, but never juggle your morals. And then we have the Knight of Cups coming in. So that would be regarding all this love that is potentially available to you. And so the Knight of Cups is like an older version of the Pages. This is someone who has been knighted and has been doing a really good job for the court. And now their job is to go out and deliver messages out into the wide world, and been given way more responsibility to protect the kingdom, etc. And so the Knight of Cups is representing some sort of information coming in regarding cups. And as I said, that's about, this is like romantic love generally, because this is a knight in shining armor that shows up with, all your problems are solved. This is someone who's dressed, well put together. The most important thing is, this is saying this is a sincere offer of love. And it could be a relationship you're in, taking it to the next level. This is about commitment, partnerships, and marriage. So if it's not about love, this could be about something you love to do, like a business or a project, and so combining these two, or it could be both. In a perfect world, wouldn't that be perfect if you had someone who was able to financially back you, that loved you, and you loved them back, and so you had a lot in common. This card is saying it hasn't happened yet. And this is your creativity, romance, and children. So this is talking about, the Three of Swords is disturbing when you see it. I mean, there's 3 swords in this person's heart, which clearly shows there's some heartbreak, that type of energy. You notice when you look at it again, though, if you look at the size of the swords in context to the heart, you realize, okay, so they're not big swords. They're small, more like pinpricks or nails, that type of energy. So maybe a person could possibly recover from this. The heart is in the throat. If you look at this, this looks like a cloud and a cliff, but it looks like someone who's been hardened because of the heartache they're experiencing. And maybe their head is in the clouds because they just don't want to think about it. It's too painful. And this is talking about, these swords are representing an energy of, it can be gossip, slander, harsh words being spoken. Sometimes it can represent perjury in court matters, if there's some sort of judgment on the legal end in the 3D. And this represents because the swords represent our thoughts, and our thoughts are definitely expressed through words, and words are expressed usually through unwritten paper, or verbalized, or they can be expressed through artwork, etc. But so this energy is talking about a potentially heartbreaking decision needing to be made regarding your romance, regarding your children, regarding your creativity. So perhaps this is saying, if this is a romantic situation, it could be saying that there's some sort of judgment being called regarding your partnership, your marriage, in your romantic life. And this could be saying that perhaps you want to get a divorce. Quite often in relationship energy, this can represent divorce. And sometimes this sword can represent a third party involvement that gets in between 2 people. If this is about business or something like that, it could represent a partner that you found out they're not as supportive as you thought they were being. So this night is coming in a totally different way than this one. This is considered a lot of the time as the Knight of Swords is considered as a fool rushing in. Now this is actually interesting because this page is a younger version of this Knight of Swords. And so this is talking about he's only using half his sword is only half seen. So he's not really using both sides of the sword in this for this particular occasion. He's probably just using his logic or his intuition, not both together. He's running away from something. So is he running away from this energy? Why would he be running away from this energy unless he's running to someone to deliver some information about this energy coming in, that this heartbreak is being resolved, and there's going to be a divorce, that kind of energy happening. So it could be he's either running from something or to something, and it looks like he only has half the information, and we can't see the point of his sword, and maybe he can't either. And so he's got a big red flag on the back of his helmet here, and he's pushing this horse through like barren land, so and riding against the wind, and this horse looks totally stressed out. And this, the horse represents your emotions. So this is talking about a lot of anxiety, almost like a panicked energy. I've got to get where I'm going before this information comes in, before this heartbreaking decision is made. That's what I feel is really going on. So this energy is talking about the internal forces. So I would say your main focus right now is this internal force energy of, about your lifestyle. And so if you're in a situation where your your marriage or your romance, whatever, you have a potentially heartbreaking decision to make regarding that could be divorce, and it could be going to court. This also could represent an energy of someone was juggling their morals and there was a third party involvement in what should have been a couplehood. So the internal forces are when you're saying to yourself, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if they do this and then I do that? What if I lose my house now if I get divorced? Like all this information coming through. Okay, so we are going to talk about the external forces now, and I want to talk about this full moon coming through, but I want to get these cards down first because there's a lot of energy coming in here. I want to say this this last few months has been very volatile in the astrological sense. There's a lot of astrological influences that are affecting people. And that energy, it's not always like that. The astrological influences are sometimes really calm. But we just had like 6 planets move in the last while into the sign of Aries. And some of them are really big planets, like Neptune moved in for 14 years, from being in Pisces in 14 years to being in the sign of Aries for 14 years. And Pisces is the senior executive of the zodiac, and water sign, and Aries is the infant of the zodiac and a fire sign. So there's a huge difference there. And basically, Neptune is about our idealism. How do we approach relationships? How do we approach life? That kind of, how idealistic are we? And in Pisces, it was very comfortable because Pisces is ruled by Neptune and Saturn. And Neptune was very comfortable in Pisces energy, but now it's moving into Aries, and Aries is a fire sign, and it's fiery, and it's an energy of, a baby. You think about a newborn baby and how much they have to learn just in the first year alone. This is the kind of energy. It's like what we were doing for the last 14 years to be successful in business, to be successful in relationships, in our love life and otherwise. Now we have to look at it again and realize we might have to do things quite a bit differently to match the energy of the entire planet, because the entire planet is going through this transformation of Neptune for 14 years now. We just started this. It was on February the 26th that Neptune moved into Aries, and then Saturn joined Neptune about 10 days later. And Saturn is all about responsibility and elements, like the element of earth and matter and, responsibilities in the 3D world, and also our deep spiritual responsibilities. So there's a lot of energy just in those two planets alone, and Saturn will be there for about another 2.5 years. And so that was another change. And then we had Venus, which is about love and money, move in there for a bit, and we had Jupiter for a while was there. Like the Mercury, which is about communication and health, moved in there for a while. And so there's 6 planets, and a lot of the astrologers, like I was when I was gathering information about this, were saying that this is like not likely to happen again in our lifetime. Definitely, because it's usually like it's something that some were saying about might happen again in 500 years, and someone was saying like 800. So it's a very it's had a huge pull, and it's making people really want to go for the new. And now the other energy that we're dealing with is today, actually, on April 25th, and happy birthday to my mom and my aunt. They were identical twins across the veil, wishing you birthday wishes. And this energy is Gemini. The sign of, the planet Uranus has moved into the sign of Gemini. And the last time this happened was in 1941 to 1949, which is basically when World War II energy was happening. So we're experiencing a lot of that similar energy right now, a lot of concerns about what's going on in the world. And so this is really shaping the way people are feeling deep inside, and these astrological influences. We've also had 2 eclipses at the end of February, the beginning of March, and those stay with us for 6 months. Basically, it's like I've been describing it as potpourri on the back burner of your stove. It's gently bubbling, and you can smell the scent, but it's not priority. But when you look back 6 months later, you may notice that, wow, well, this was gently boiling on the back burner. It was having a big influence on your life. And 6 months later, you'll look back and say, wow, my whole life, like so much has changed in my life in the last 6 months, but you were so busy dealing with the change that you didn't notice how much change there really is. So when you go to take stock, it's like kind of almost like shocking, along with the Uranus energy. So I wanted to say that's what we're dealing with. And now we also have the full moon. So we're going to go into the external forces now. The external forces are not, you're not saying what if anymore, you're saying what the EF, what happened. Shift happened. That's what happened from the external forces. You can't control what other people say and do in the economy and everything that's happening in the world right now, but you can control your reaction or your response to it. And you're much better responding to this energy rather than reacting. And I also want to, because this card came up, I want to point out that also on February 17th, it was the Chinese New Year. And we moved from the year of the snake into the year of the fiery horse energy. And this energy right here is exactly how you don't want to be in the year of the fiery horse energy. That will be, the Chinese New Year actually follows the lunar calendar. And so instead of the Gregorian one, so the date changes because of that. So we moved into the year of the fiery horse energy on February 17th, and we are going to be there until I think the 6th of February 2027. Impulsive energy, and being hot-tempered and seeing something and then posting and tweeting all over the place and then finding out the next day, it was AI. Now you have a lot of apologies to make, and sometimes to the the forces that run the platforms, you have to apologize for misinformation, It's a lot of work. And also, if you've ever seen a horse grab the bit, when a horse gets spooked, if you've ever ridden horses, you'll know what I mean. it grabs the bit and chomps down on the, with its teeth, and there's no way that you're going to stop that horse like that. Like if you're a rider, you're going to have to ride it out. And, you know, if a horse is panicked, it can run for miles before it gets tired. And when that happens, in real life, this could take you way far off your path. So being impulsive, hot-tempered, you know, and also, you know, this energy of the fiery horse makes us want to set very high achievement goals, which is awesome. But it quite often is like unrealistic, and you don't allot enough time to get the job done. And then it ends up like this, and you're like busy to be busy. And if you get multitasking too much, you're in an energy then of having to redo things, and the work suffers. So it's saying, and you can really burn yourself out in this energy, getting all anxious because you're not meeting the deadlines that you set that were not realistic. So it's talking, that's the dangers of that energy, and that coupled with all the new energy coming in from this Aries situation, and now Neptune or Uranus, these are really huge astrological influences that many people in their lifetimes, like our parents, some of them might have, or grandparents might have been around for World War II. But they're not, you know, to be in a situation like 500 years ago where there was all these planets in Aries and pushing for all this new energy, you know, happening all at once at the same time. So if you're feeling a little bit, you know, edgy right now and feeling like emotional, it's a lot of people on the planet are right now. And I also want to point out that the new moon that we just had, on the 17th of April, moved from Pisces into Aries as well. So we're moving out of that energy, and we're moving into Scorpio energy with this new full moon. And so I'm going to go through the external forces, and then we're going to see how does it affect this situation for your sign with what we have here. And so this energy here, the King of Wands energy, is this is one of 4 kings in the Minor Arcana, and he's considered the sexiest of all the kings. He is very charismatic, and you know, someone that a lot of people really enjoy his energy. He's a visionary. His element is the wand, and the wand represents fire and passion. It's made of wood, and this wood feeds the fire. Also, this is talking about being from a tree, having strong roots from the ancestors, and the descendants being represented here as the branches, the offshoots. And so the king is a forward thinker, very visionary, and you can see just by his body language, he's ready to get up at a moment's notice. He loves adventure and new. The salamander running by here, and the salamanders in the circle in the back with the lion, represent an energy of protection from fire, because that's his element. And so this can be a very fiery person, and you know, it's especially for the fire signs. If you are involved with anyone with fire signs, this fiery horse energy is a lot of fire. It's probably like if you're a water sign, it might create steam. And if you're an earth sign, you know, earth can put fire out, so it could really dampen it. But with the Libra, the air, if it's oxygen, it can, you know, it can feed a fire, or, you know, if there's not enough air, it can put a fire out. So it's that kind of energy. This is talking about, on the back here, the salamander in the circle, and that is talking about that energy. But I noticed a couple months back, and now you know how when you see something you can't unsee it, that there's a face on the back here. There's 2 eyes and a mustache, and the smoke's coming out. And that could just mean that, hey, this king is smoking hot. and he is. But it also can say where there's smoke, there's fire. So the thing about the King of Wands is he's probably the last one to settle down, and most likely to be, you know, his visionary, like his love of new projects, new adventures, bleeds into his romantic life. So he tends to be the last one to settle down, basically. He's more, it takes him longer to settle down probably than the other kings. because he has a love for his freedom and adventure. All right, so that's the energy coming towards us in general. And now we have the moon coming in. So it's saying this moon is very significant. The energy, because it's about hidden illusions and secrets coming out. And that's basically, I feel, what the judgment is. And as I said, this could likely also be from, leftovers from your ancestors. Maybe because we're in this energy, from that period between 1941 and 1949, there could be some unresolved business around that. We have this lobster is wanting to climb out of these emotional waters and get neutral to, like, getting back on the path, and he wants to get up here, but there's this dog and wolf howling at the moon, and he's like, how am I gonna get past them? I'm gonna be so vulnerable. If they see me, I'm gonna be in big trouble. And so he's waiting until they're really focused on howling at the moon so he can get by. He wants to stay in between these two pillars and not be distracted from his goal, which is to stay on the destined path, on his destiny, so that he can receive this energy. Very similar to this energy here, staying focused so that you can stay on the path. And this is representing the full moon, the new moon, and eclipse season, as I just spoke about. So there's a lot of that energy, and it's saying that just the fact that the moon also joined the 6 planets in the sign of Aries just on the 17th of April, we're now moving out of that energy. So it's another element of emotional. So, the full moons, we can feel them for sure 3 days before and 3 days after. And, anyone that's ever worked in a hospital or in a bar or, in that type of industry knows, like, wild things happen on the full moon. People's emotions can be really raw. And so this is saying be careful of this moon energy coming in, because with Uranus also right around the corner, and with this other energy and with the fiery horse energy, it's a lot. And people, if you've been thinking, what the heck is wrong with people these days? They're just like wild. Like nobody, like, where's the common sense? Well, a lot of people are feeling this effect, and it's a lot of people don't believe in astrology and that, and you don't have to believe in anything. You're probably better off not believing in it, and just looking at the results. And so, when I look back and I saw, oh, okay, this is, I look into it before I do these readings, because I want to point out the possible pitfalls here that we can fall into. So this is not a good energy to be in at this time. Like, if you feel like this, stay home. Turn your phone off. Don't participate. Wait until you're calm. You'll do yourself a favor, because it's not going to benefit you if you are in this energy at this time. And it's easy to get in this energy. So this is talking about discernment. So the Queen of Swords is talking about, she is considered to be the coldest of the queens, because she has been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, has the souvenir, and does not want to entertain any more bullshit. So she does have her left hand out. So she's saying, I'm willing to receive this, but you better come into me straight or off with your head. She's not in the mood. And this is talking about, she has her head above the clouds, and she is absolutely not putting up with bullshit. So come into her character, just don't bother. And she wasn't always in this cold mood, and she might change, but she's going through this energy. You can see the sword energy. So she may have just found out that her partner was cheating, and it's that type of energy. So this is in transition. So this is kind of the external forces. So perhaps if you are the one that's wanting to offer a cup of love to someone who's gone through this heartbreaking decision, be aware that now may not be the best time to pop the question. They might be very enmeshed in this energy, and not, and maybe, even a week from now, they would be much more open to an offer like this. But right now, if they're dealing with this, unless they need a good shoulder to cry on. But is that really a good way to start a romantic relationship? Not so much. So this is talking about the Hermit. Yeah, it's really, if we're feeling this way, if we have a lot going on and we don't know what to do, rather than just pushing on and doing something, like a lot of times, I just want to do something, you're better off just to isolate. And that's what this card is saying. The Hermit climbs the mountain, and so that he can isolate and not be distracted, so that he can hone in, okay, what's the best actions to take right now in this situation, and get calm, like separate the emotions from and discipline the mind to make strong decisions. So he confers with God through meditation and prayer. And then when his lantern is full of the light of the North Star energy is your guiding light. The North Star is talking about following your destined path. And when he has that information, he takes action on that information. So this is in your higher learning. So it's a really good idea, if you're feeling like this energy, to go into this energy, calm down, and then take action. We have reconciliation coming. This card's been coming in a lot. Reconciliation would imply that there needs to be forgiveness of some sort. And so maybe the heartbreaking decision is, should I stay or should I go? That's the energy. And so this is talking about, this card is full of a lot of illusions. When you first look at it, you see that these two children are playing, and they're playing with these flowers, and there's someone watching over them. And this energy can talk about some childhood wounds that need to be healed. Maybe when you were younger, your parents were very busy working 2 jobs, and they didn't have as much time for you as they would have liked to have had. And maybe you felt like, you could have been a latchkey kid, that type of energy. Maybe not feeling like understood, them just not them having to deal with a lifestyle of juggling, work to be able to stay afloat. That energy is coming up, and maybe they ended up getting divorced or something, and that because of all this sword energy. So this is talking, sometimes this card can be talking about reconciliation with your childhood. It can also be talking about reconciliation with someone that has done something that, requires forgiveness. Now, you could forgive someone and never have something to do with them again. And you have to be careful with this energy because, people tend to show you who they are the first time around. And so this can be someone coming in from your past, maybe in a romantic relationship that hurt, and they're asking for another chance, that kind of energy. This also could represent just this new love coming in, that there's new love coming in after this heartbreak is healed, someone wanting to offer, or you wanting to offer someone that's in this situation, a cup of love, that they could be someone that you've known for a long time, maybe even from your childhood. You know of them, but you never really had a relationship with them, or that type of energy. But this card is full of illusions, just like our childhood quite often is. And this is talking about, when you look at this, you think these children are playing. But then when you look, this is a gnome, and this is a little woman. and she is wearing a white glove, which says, I do not want to get my hands dirty. When you look at her from behind, she looks like an old hag. And the old hag is saying, we don't want your stupid flowers. They're not even your flowers to give. Go away. And this younger version is explaining herself and people-pleasing. And so are you still in this people-pleasing energy? Be careful of that. Because, as I said, people quite often show you who they are the first time around. And this is talking, these white flowers in tarot represent innocence. But these flowers are far from innocent, because these flowers are from the nightshade family. This is Datra, which is also known as Devil's Trumpet. And it's a beautiful flower. It flowers like at night. So in the morning when you wake up, there's double the flowers that was on it the day before. Really, really pretty trumpet-shaped flowers. But if a child or a pet was to ingest this, it could make them very ill. And so you would not let children play with this plant. And some shamans sometimes use this plant, actually, the datra, to create visions in their ceremonies for adults. And shamans know what they're doing because they've been handed this knowledge down through centuries. So this is not something to play with. This energy is like some pretty serious energy. And then this person watching over the children in the background is actually someone, when you look closer, it's just someone walking down the path away from them. So this energy is full of illusions, and this can say your childhood might need some healing from some illusions, and that's referring again to Pandora's box being opened and maybe skeletons coming out of the closet. And then we have this energy of the Knight of Pentacles, so there is some communication coming in regarding this pentacle energy, and this is in your career and reputation. This card and this one is in blessings coming in. So this is like, there's a lot of potential for this energy to come through. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight of all of them. And so this energy is like, wow, hurry up and arrive. But he's at a standstill here. He sometimes needs to have a board meeting with himself just to make any small decision. And it can be really frustrating, but when his information comes in regarding the Pentacles, it's usually a solid offer that's been well, it's something that's been looked into. And it's generally a solid offer, like the offer of love from the Knight. So this is really beautiful energy. The only one we're missing right now of the Knights is the Knight of Wands. And we have a cup of love coming in. So definitely what this is saying is once this energy heals, there's a good chance that if you are wanting to offer someone a cup of love, or if someone's offering you a cup of love, that it's an authentic offer. This is an overflowing love. There's peace in it. It's a gift from the divine for staying on your destined path and hanging in there through hardship, and for doing all this work to clear your bloodline as well for your ancestors so that they can rest in peace. And if it's not about romantic love, it could be a family member or someone, your friend, whatever. And if it's in business, it could be saying that the combination of having this as a business partner or someone that's backing you is going to be a really good situation as well. So this is really, really good energy for you, Libra. And, with the full moon energy, I just want to explain how this would be affected. I'm going to put this here. So the moon is in Scorpio, and the opposing sign across from Scorpio is Taurus. So this Taurus energy is all about security, matter, personal possessions, and it's really important to Taurus energy to have that security in the 3D world. They are the baby of the element of earth, so earthly matters matter to Taurus. And Scorpio is more like kaboom, let's destroy and then put it all back together and see what happens. It's shared possessions. It's talking about the change, transformation, and it's talking about that this Queen of Swords has learned the art of discernment, and she's this is going to cause a major transition. Sometimes we need to learn the hard way who to trust and who not to trust, and what we want to invest our time in and who we want to invest it with, and what do we expect in return. Do we expect something, or can we anticipate a good outcome? So the Scorpio moon is highlighting this conflict between the Scorpio energy and the Taurus energy, and it's really highlighting it in our significant relationships as well as on a world level. And it's also a very emotional moon. It's like saying, declare who you are, because of all the Aries energy. And so it could be very easy for you to make very emotional declarations of how you feel. And you have to be careful with this, because if it's in this energy, once words are spoken, it's hard to take them back. Actually, you can't ever take them back. All you can really do is apologize. And so it's that type of energy, and but it is, if this is done in a strong way, you can really bridge that gap in this conflict of those two energies. And also, what else is this? You know, Taurus is about wanting things to be a certain way and form, like material matter, bringing your thoughts and creating a lifestyle that feels secure. Whereas the Scorpio energy is more about transformation, so taking that form and changing it. And so that's the external forces coming in is a lot of change, a lot of new ways of doing things. And if we resist that, we're going to have a lot more challenging time than if we accept, okay, things are changing, we're going to have to adapt. And that's what this is saying. So for those of you who want to have clarification, I'll go on to clarify this. And if you're leaving the reading now, thank you for your time and energy. And please give it a like and comment if you found it worthwhile for you to listen to. I also consider subscribing. I would be honored if you did so. Whoop. Okay, so this is the card that wants to come out here. And we've got this going on here. So I'm going to clarify with my oracle, Tales from the Vector. This is the energy that's coming out. I started this in 2007. In 2020, I completed 64 paintings. I'm an artist. It's from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. A lot of these paintings are 3 foot by 4 foot dragons from the future. There's a lot of information that I have written down, and I do have a gallery in my website, Tales from the Vector. And the numbers of the cards here represent the paintings in the order that they appear there. So in the description box below, I will put this the numbers of these cards as they appear. And I will, you can check it out if you want to check it out. It's talesfromthevector.com. So we have the Trauma Queen energy here. So I feel like this is the energy is that there's definitely been some sort of trauma around probably a romantic life, but it could be like with family or it could be both. And this is talking about, you know, life's a slice, but hold the drama. Basically, when it comes to our intimate relationships, a lot of times people can confuse anxiety, you know, with excitement. And if someone's been raised in a household with a lot of fighting and conflict, that can, even to you'll say, when I grow up, I'm not going to get divorced and I'm not going to be in that energy like my parents were. But you know, history has a tendency to repeat itself unless we make a conscious effort to be able to change it. And so that's what this is saying. Stay focused on what you really want here. Don't get dragged into other people's drama, and don't create drama that you regret later. And this is talking about this energy of the lifestyle. Probably the reason why you haven't had it is because you had this expectation that you would fulfill that prophecy, that you would not do things the way your parents did, and it failed. So you had expectations, and expectations are always going to create limitations. So moving forward, it's like facing this energy and having the courage to take a look at, okay, what can I do? How can I change to make things better? We have the dissension, which is a tactic. And this is saying with friends like this who needs enemies. And this is an energy that's unfortunately uncommon when people juggle their morals. Quite, you know, and there's a third party involvement. Quite often you'll find out it's someone that was close to you, and maybe even a relative. And also that there could have been a lot of people that knew about it, and there was a lot of people gossiping and chatting about it, but no one bothered to tell you. And so a lot of times when divorce happens or situations like this happen, it's not just about the partner that you were with, it's also about the people that were in your inner circle and what actions they took and what actions they didn't take to inform you of the situation. And so we have the Hierophant. Judgment is coming in, and the Hierophant is responsible from the spiritual realm, bringing that, you know, our morals, our you know, our values and bringing that down to earth, and that's in an actual court of law. So if there's anything illegal or something's missing monetarily because of wills or inheritances or something like that, that it's a Hierophant's job to make sure that it's disclosed, the truth comes out, and there's a proper judgment being called here. And so this, of course, is an energetic upgrade if you should move into this energy because of that. So the Magician is basically saying that you have the tools you need at your disposal. You have to learn how to use the tools and which tools to use. The Battle Star is talking about having the courage to do so. And it takes a lot of courage to decide, okay, I'm going to try out this love thing again, especially if you're in this energy. And so, you know, once the heart heals, it's a decision that you make. Forgiveness is for you. You don't have to have reconciliation with someone that you forgive. You don't even have to tell them. It's just so that you can move forward. And this is having that balance again, you know, of having this zest for life, like a breath of fresh air coming back in from this judgment, and being balanced in that yourself so that you can love again. Everybody deserves to have love in their life. And the Chariot is talking about this is already happening on the spiritual level. I feel someone is like panicked almost by this energy, and I feel like it could be this past person thinking that you were going to take them back. This isn't the first time they've done this. This is you've forgiven them in the past and taken them back, and that's this energy here. But I feel like this time it's different, and you're like, I don't think so. I think I just had someone ask me out on a date, and I think I'm going to go on that date. And he's really hot, smoking hot. So this is talking about addressing the energy of a mother's worry. For whatever reason, we have mother's worry. So maybe your ancestors on the other side are just worried. They can see what's happening, and they want you to, hey, wake up, we're trying to reach you in your dreams, etc., to use your intuition. There's something going on here, and you need to address it. And so now the truth is coming out, and it will be addressed. And we have also the karmic space of anger. So yeah, a lot of times if this has happened in your life, you can be feeling a lot of anger, but that can become a karmic space. I mean, there is righteous anger, and you know, you might have every reason to be angry, but staying in that acidic energy is only going to cause more pain to you, really, in the end. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. So if you have children and you pass that anger down to them, and then they pass that down to theirs, it can be talking about that. And that might be why the ancestors are so happy, is because they can see, okay, you're going to actually end this cycle. And when you have children, or if you already have children, you're going to teach them that they don't need to be angry to motivate themselves, that they can move forward with love, and that they deserve love. And if something like this happens to them, they can heal from it and move forward with an open heart again. Really beautiful energy. And then we have the superstar energy. And so this is talking about having harmony in your life after having this discernment. So sometimes we need to learn to quit people pleasing and that energy. And so this is saying be careful about going back into the past energy, because the universe right now is moving into the new. And going back to the past sometimes can have repercussions, where if this karma is coming in and you're still hanging out with the people in the past that have put you in this energy, then you know, you could have more of that. You could be saying to the universe, hey, I want more of that. The Cancer energy, basically I feel that this is saying the Cancer is ruled by the moon, and it's probably the water signs are the most emotional, and they're also the most intuitive in general, and especially when it comes to dreams, etc. But the Cancer energy, think of adolescent girls that are just starting their cycle, and they're feeling, you know, if you've ever been one, or you've raised one, or you've probably, if you've dated one, you would know the emotions are very up and down, because the energy is volatile. And so we can all slip back into this when we get triggered, right? So this is saying be very careful of this full moon energy coming in on May 1st, that you don't, you know, you don't want to be in this energy and be all impulsive and angry and then regret what you've done later. And this is also the Capricorn energy, is talking about your ambition. This is your career and reputation. So this is saying, keep in mind that possibilities come out of challenges. Challenges often, you know, the more challenging something is, the more possibilities there are in it. But the Capricorn energy is very disciplined. It's, you know, the glyph is a mountain goat, and the mountain goat has the front end of a goat, but the back end is a dolphin. So if they fall down the mountain, they just get back up and they take another disciplined action, consistent steps of action toward their goals. And then we have scotoma. So there was some sort of hidden blind spot regarding some sort of this money energy, this lifestyle energy coming through. And perhaps that's the when this information comes through, it might have something to do with this love too. So maybe when this romantic partner comes in, that's when you know it, like it's all falling into place. So this is saying that the windshield is bigger than the rear view mirror for a reason. You want to check your past, you know, shoulder check. Make sure like you're not going to get hit from behind, but at the same time you want to move forward and have an open mind. An open mind can be very, very valuable to you right now, instead of yeah. And then this is talking about disruption. This is another tactic. And we're going back to this energy here, and being distracted by the past. This person coming in and saying, let's get back together again, when you're starting to be in a relationship with someone new, and it's taken you a lot of courage to do that. So disruption is basically what the Scorpio energy and the conflict between wanting the security and new energy transformation with this moon coming up. And this is saying what's fun for some is not fun for everyone. Yes, if someone is cheating on you behind your back, it's probably not that much fun for you, especially a Libra, because Libra is the glyph for Libra is justice, like the scales of justice. And also it's about being mature enough to make a committed relationship, such as marriage. Excuse me. And so I do hope you receive value from this. Please give it a like and comment if you have, and consider subscribing. I would be honored if you did so. I'll be back with another reading for you soon, Libra. Bye for now. Sorry, gotta wake you up, Stella.